Lifestyle Pirates with Big J and Adriano.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lifestyle Pirates with Big J and Adriano. This morning we have Angelina Zimmerman, a mindset coach and facilitator from the Zillionaire Corporation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Angie.
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
We're
Absolutely
marvellous. We're marvellous.
lovely.
Good. Good.
You haven't stopped smiling since you've been here. That's very infectious. Very infectious.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you say you prefer to be called Angie, so we're going to go straight to that.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
the same. If I get called Jonathan, I think I'm in trouble. It's normally
okay.
mum at the bottom of the stairs. It's like,
Yeah.
shit, what have I done? So John, or
John.
yeah,
Perfect.
affectionately known as Big J as well. The Zillionaire Corporation. Now, I've just checked out your LinkedIn. It says you help people rewire their inner beliefs, overcome mental blocks, destructive thought patterns to boost their confidence and accelerate performance, both personally and professionally.
Yes.
I think I got that right. Let's unpack that. That's quite big. I mean, how did you get into this world? What does that all mean?
Yeah, great question. So pretty much I've been in learning and development my entire life. Like I haven't stopped reading books and doing courses and listening to podcasts. Like you name it, I'm into anything to do with learning and development. Hence the reason I've been in the industry for so long. So it's been over 15 years now. I've been training and coaching individuals and working with organisations to improve performance. And what appealed to me about the mindset is the funny thing is at the time when I was looking into the mindset is I heard first about Carol Dweck and her book around the fixed and growth mindsets. Okay. And that was one of the first things. But at the time, it wasn't that popular at all. But I feel like now every LinkedIn profile I look at is a mindset coach. It's crazy. Yeah. So basically it's exploded. It's a bit like neuroscience, right? So people didn't know much about it. They didn't really understand the impact or the power of it. And I think now that it's come to light and people are so much more aware is hence the explosion within the industry of mindset coaches. So what appealed to me is I just knew, I always know, that you can do so much more than what you believe you can. And, because when we are born, we, are unlimited potential, right?
Yep.
It's only what we're trained or programmed to think based on how we grow up, the people we're surrounded with, our environment, as to the beliefs that we adopt. And then that's how it creates our reality, basically.
Yeah.
So the more you think of a belief, so time and time again, it's like thoughts. We have, 60,000 thoughts a day, over 60,000 thoughts a day. You keep thinking that, obviously that's creating your reality.
Yeah.
And so it's also the stories that you tell yourself. So many things come into it, into forming your mindset. So then it's up to you to identify, okay, what actually isn't right? What is incorrect? What is stopping me? What is holding me back? And that's the work that I focus on.
And so you mentioned that you do it for individuals and businesses. I can imagine that's a completely different kind of story in terms of how you are engaging. Take us through maybe the working on a one-to-one basis. What does that tend to entail?
Well, that's absolutely my favourite thing in the world to do, I've got to say. And I think the main reason is because when you're working with an individual one-on-one, you see so much more and you can pick up on so much more and work with them so closely and really understand who they are as a person. And that just helps accelerate the process so much quicker than, say, in a training room with 20 people where everyone's not going to be as open and honest. You're not going to have those in-depth conversations you can have one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so probably that's why I love it so much. And the results that we've been able to achieve from the coaching has just been massively life-changing for a lot of people, to the point a lot of the time my clients are repeat clientele. So they don't just come and see me once. They go, oh, my God, that was amazing. I have to come back.
So sticking on the one-to-one bit, so what are people coming to see you with? And is there an element where they've got to be honest with themselves first?
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's always, to be honest with you, a bit of a shock for them because we're picking up on things that, potentially hidden from them, or they may not just have that awareness around. There's plenty of things that our blind spots, we're not fully aware that we're actually doing that or thinking like that, or something stopping us, a belief that we have that we're picked up that's not true anymore. And so, it's a bit bit of a shock to people, but they do come usually for more career goals. But because my approach is holistic, it can't help but impact your personal life as well. And there's a lot of work that goes on with in terms of like personal habits, the beliefs like I always talk about, all of that is impacting their personal lives as well.
So you kind of you're dismantling those unconscious bias and beliefs that they've grown up with, and as you said, being influenced by. You're kind of literally peeling back I guess like an onion, really, peeling back all the layers and starting from a blank canvas again.
Well, it's funny. I often, when I'm talking to clients, I can pick up a lot in our initial conversation. Mm-hmm. So like over the phone, I can tell because I think anyway, you guys would probably pick this up. If you start paying attention to what people say and how they word things, you'll pick up whether they got that scarcity or fixed mindset versus, say, a growth or abundance mindset. There's lots of terms that we could use, but just to make it simple. And so I find that I pick up so much just from, even before we even get to coaching session one.
So what are some of those terms that you listen out for?
So it's the language that they use, so the way that they word things. So, oh, no, I'm terrible at relationships. I always have really, awful relationships. I was so heartbroken last time. It's all the words that they use to describe their current life.
Yeah.
Or, oh, no, I keep getting overlooked for promotions. I don't understand what's happening. And, it's usually coming back to something they're believing or something they're not doing, like taking action as well is a powerful motivator and can change so much.
Okay. So were you analysing me before when you asked me what it is that I
do? Exactly right. Yeah. Beware.
All right. I didn't study for this test. So what made you want to get into the mindset industry?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've just been obsessed, and so curious, and I just know there's so much more that people can do, that I can do, and I think we just limit ourselves so much, and it was just really frustrating for me, and I was like, why am I thinking this way, and why is my mindset this way, and all those sort of personal questions led me to the work that I do today.
Okay, and what sort of things do you focus on when you're trying to help someone with their mindset?
Well, like I said, language is massive indicator of what's going on for a person. Heavily look at the beliefs because that determines a lot, because the language that they're using is usually related to their beliefs.
Okay, so what do you mean by beliefs? Typically, what do you mean by beliefs?
Oh, so like I'm really shy. I don't like networking. That type of thing. So if you believe that, well, guess what? Your reality is going to show that and reflect that. Or like, we were talking about driving before, I'm a really good driver and you're erratic and you got road rage.
That's very two different things.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's what I'm saying is how people describe themselves and what they do or can do or can't do.
Yeah.
And that's how we have those limiting beliefs, and we all have them to some degree.
So I've heard recently there's been a bit of a buzzword about abundance mindset. Can you break that down for me? What exactly is
abundance is similar really to growth mindset. Okay. So basically, limitless mindset, you could use all different words for it, but basically it's knowing that you have more potential, like you are able to do things, nothing will stop you. Whereas someone with a fixed mindset will go, oh no, this is the talent and the abilities that I've been given and that's it. Okay. That's my skills. Like, I'm not very good at maths. I don't think I can improve. That type of mindset. Whereas someone with a growth mindset will go, I want to get better, or I want to make $1 million. I want to create an empire, and they'll go out and they'll do it. They'll take the risk, take the action and make it happen. Whereas someone, with that scarcity or fixed mindset is going to go, oh, I could never do that. No, never. That's, I'll be happy if I just earn this much, for example. Yeah, just is a classic word that people use. So if someone's describing themselves, they might go, oh, I'm just a personal assistant, or I'm just a real estate. So that's always an interesting indicator, because you're not just anything. You're an amazing person. So have confidence with that. And speak it.
I completely agree, and I've noticed they do it in restaurants when they go, that bill's just $399. Like, I've just had a burger and
that was the wine.
So to get into what you do, is there an element of kind of self-help and self-work as well? I appreciate you read a lot and learn a lot. Is there an element where you've got to work on yourself before you can, you know how they say like accountants, their books are always the worst, and builders, their houses are always the worst.
Mechanics.
Is there like when you're a mindset coach, like is there things that you've had to, demons you've had to do, that kind of stuff?
Guess what? Everyone in the world can work on their mindset day in and day out. It's not I've got a great mindset. And
it's all rainbows out there.
No, I wish it was unicorns and ice cream every day, but no, it's not. You definitely got to work at it.
Yeah.
There's top manifestation coaches like Catherine Zenka. She's quite an amazing woman. She's done so well for herself. And some of the stories that she had growing up were quite powerful. Let's say she came from, not much money, immigrants. They migrated to America, and she's now known as one of the best manifestation coaches in the world, making millions. So,
wow,
And what makes
her
her
life
so
turned around.
What makes her so good?
She's a huge Anthony Robbins fan, which doesn't make her so
Yeah.
good. I'm not saying that. I love Anthony Robbins, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is so she does a lot of work on herself, personal development. She always talks about this as well, how she's constantly working on herself because she'll have bad days. We all do that. We think negative or, we're not thinking straight. But what makes her so good is her information that she shares is life-changing. So it's not information that you'll hear every day, day in and day out. She can really share a lot. And I think it is to do a lot with her working so closely with Anthony, because her and her husband do a lot of work with him. So I think as a result of that, she's able to really broaden the topic and just to really explain different things that you may never have thought of or, she's just got a different way of sharing information, really opening the conversation up to get people thinking. Outside the box. It's not your day in, day out, every day like mindset stuff that you hear. It is different.
So
and that's
about the
why
day in, day out, do
Yeah.
you have your own sort of habitual ruling that you go through every day to put yourself into a certain mindset?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I start the morning, coffee. Coffee's number one.
Without a doubt, I ain't talking unless I've had coffee.
Correct. I'm literally wake up 4 a.m. in the morning, straight to the coffee machine, get a bit of ashwagandha powder, which is I call magic because it's a bit like sleep. It's amazing. It's an Indian herb, and you just put it in your coffee, half a teaspoon a morning. And it gives you that like calm feeling, but it also gives you energy. So it's kind of similar to when I do a really good meditation session. I get the same feeling. And so I'll do that usually. And then I will go and do my meditation, and then I'll go and work out at the gym and do a walk after that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about you in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely. I just find it's a great way to start the day. I feel good. I look better. Like everything works if I look after my health.
And what was that herb you put in the coffee?
Ashwagandha powder.
Okay, I use grappa. It's just as effective.
I like your style.
I love that. And then you drive to work. Brilliant.
Of course, I'm in the automotive industry. I do not do that, by the way.
I find that really interesting how you spend. So what's the time of that ritual? So you wake up at 4. By the time you finish the gym, walk, your coffee, what time is it?
So, it's not as structured as that. Right. So I'll get up anywhere at 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Yep. Sometimes I am in the gym at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. Yep. I'll do a half-hour workout, usually weights workout, and then I'll do a walk 5 to 6 Ks and my meditation as well. So easy, probably good 2 hours.
So you dedicate 2 hours of your day every day to you.
Yep,
which is
absolutely.
Awesome because so many of us chuck on the news, they check emails.
Oh no.
All that kind of stuff. You're literally just detoxifying your mind, waking up, working on you.
And funny you bring up the news. Actually, it's a real big point for me because people go, I want to be connected. I want to know what's going on. Yeah, that's all great. But you know what? You find out what you need to know. And that's exactly what happens for me. Ever since I stopped religiously watching the news, best thing I've ever done.
I think
Absolutely.
that's truth to that, definitely. You will find out what you need to know.
You do. I always do. My girlfriend, she'll be the first on the phone because she watches 10 news programs in the morning. I'm like, whatever.
That's way too much. It's way too much.
Her and her dad just addicted to the news. So she always calls me, quick, this is happening or that. I go, okay. Yep. That's it.
It's funny how it does play with your mindset. We used to watch the news in the morning and I used to listen to, there's a great podcast out there called The Quickie, which is literally 15 minutes
Yeah.
of the news.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to it in the morning. And then I found I was getting into work kind of a bit anxious and pet up and
Yes.
concerned and whatever that kind of headline was, that was reflected in my day. Now I just literally listen to a bit of trance or house or electronic music.
Yeah.
And I'm almost skipping into work and I'm ready to go. But I'll still listen to the news later on that day. But just changing when I engaged in that has literally changed my day.
Yeah.
Really?
Perfect example.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We don't watch it in the morning anymore.
Yeah.
Because we found that you'd wake up and you're on, and then that actually dominates your conversation walking to work.
Yeah.
And so you're not actually.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
No. So you're kind of not prepping yourself up for the day. You're concerned, and then you're in work, and then you've got 100 emails, whatever, overnight. So we've literally changed that.
I love that. That's a really good move, and
Yeah.
it does make a difference. For all the listeners out there, I think they should actually trial that. Try a week of watching the news and see how you feel. It's often drained, fearful, like you just don't feel good at all. I mean, that can help you get into a negative state, obviously.
Yep.
And then try a week without it and just notice the difference, just even in your energy and your mindset alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big time.
It wonders.
Big time.
So just before we move on, you wake up at 3 a.m.?
Yes, I know. I've been... Like I'm automatic. I don't even need an alarm clock. I'm
Yeah?
not joking. Yeah, I've been.
Do you go to bed at like 6?
After home and away.
Sometimes I feel like it.
Yeah, I know.
No, not that
I know
early.
feeling.
Not that early. I do. And I can do both. I can do the night owl in the morning, but I do prioritize my sleep now. Before I felt like, whatever. But now I definitely prioritize it because I just know how much more effective I am the next day when I have a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
It's like anyone.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm an early riser as well, but 3 a.m. is ridiculous.
I've just been
Like I've
used
woken
to
up
it.
at that time to go to play DJ sets in the city.
If you text me at 3 a.m., we're going to fall out.
Yeah, that's the problem. No one's awake at 3 a.m. I can't text or call anyone.
Well, I suppose that's the best time for meditation then. Yeah.
Exactly.
So going on that, because we're going to have a lot of people that go, yeah, this all sounds great. And I'm going to kind of highlight the fact that this is obviously a journey for you and you found that this works for you. How long has that journey taken in terms of finding your rhythm and routine that works for you? Because I can imagine it's not like flicking on a switch. It's changing things all the time and evolving and adapting.
To be honest, no, it's barely changed. I've been a health fanatic ever since I can remember. I just love the gym. Like my mum and I used to get up at 3 a.m. just go 20K walk.
Wow.
Like, we were crazy.
Casual.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that. I don't think I've done that this year.
No, just don't do it in the dead of winter, I tell you. It's not fun. But yeah, so meditation was probably my biggest thing that I've added to it. I do gratitude and affirmations, but I usually do that, like I don't always write them down, for example. So I usually do that throughout the day.
Yep.
Just when I'm on my own, I've got time to do that, whether that's night or morning, that will differ. But no, the gym's always been the staple, the coffee, of course.
Yep.
And so it's really only the meditation, which I find is anyone that does meditation regularly, even seriously, you can get effects just from 5 to 10 minutes a day. I find I make better decisions. I find I'm calmer, I'm less reactive, less emotional, which I really enjoy. So for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
And I've actually encouraged my clients to do so. And they've noticed massive differences walking into pitches, say, with clients and things like that, how much better they feel and more successful as a result. So it's massively impactful.
So can I dig a bit deeper there? Because I've always been a bit skeptical of meditation and so many people said for me to try it. One, like how do you start? And two, I've always been under the impression that you've got to have music on or like, how do you do it? And how long do you need to do it and all that kind of stuff?
You do it in terms of what works for you.
Right.
So when I first started, it was awful. I learned transcendental meditation from a teacher.
And what's that?
In Bondi Junction. So that's when you repeat a mantra that you've been given that's like unique to you. So no one else will have this mantra. So you don't tell anyone, you usually don't write it down. Your teacher gives it as a result of the work that you two do together.
Yep.
So when I first started, seriously, every night I'd try to do it and I was falling asleep every single time. Or the other thing I was doing is like, how long? It's like, it was crazy because, we've all got the monkey mind. It is hard to switch off.
Totally.
You know, so firstly, you've got to pick your timing. Secondly, pick how it works for you, whether you want music. You know, some people like to sit up, some people like to lie down. It doesn't matter. All that matters is it works for you. That's the key component here. And it doesn't matter what type you do either, whether you want to do a mantra all the time or even a visualization, a guided visualization, things like anything of that nature will work. The purpose is to get rid of everything out. Like, you don't get rid of everything out of the mind, but what I'm saying is really quieten the mind. And then as a result, so say when you get better at it, and it does take time and it's consistency. It's like anything else. It's practice. It's a habit that you've got to embed in your life. And over time, though, it's amazing. So like when you get to the 10 to 20 minute mark, you start actually getting messages around what you need to do that day, like what action steps to take or, you know, contact this person or just different messages that
What,
really –
on your phone?
No. Just as a result of the meditation, but that's when you go into it quite deeply.
Yeah.
So the results, speak for themselves, but you've got to put in that initial work like anything to make it happen.
So a mate of mine does Lego
Yeah.
for his meditation.
Yep.
Because he said it does two things for him. One, it takes him back to like a childlike state where he used to play with Lego. But
Yeah.
two, he's literally just building something and completely focused on that. He's since had a child, which I think is, you know, he's now got other things to focus on. But that was his kind of meditation as well. So can you do anything for meditation? Does it have to be sitting still, lying down? Can it be anything? Or do you have to have this kind of complete state of nothing at all?
So it sounds like what you're talking about with your friend is more like mindfulness activity.
Right.
So that's when you are purely focused on one thing and you're living in the present moment.
Yep.
And that sounds more what he's doing. So say, for example, you want to, you know, get your creative spark going. You might, you know, jot down, write an article, write a song, like you're fully in the flow, if you like.
Yeah. Do a podcast.
Yeah.
I was thinking of music side of things actually, and Lego and building cars. And
You like your Lego, don't you?
I absolutely
And
love
why do you like your Lego? What does that do when you're doing that?
exactly what you mentioned. Exactly what and Angelina mentioned as well. Yeah, it's just you disconnect. You sort of you go into that space. You're living in that moment, and it's really cool. Same with music as well. Music sort of takes you on a different trans-dimensional space goat sort of journey, but. Yeah, with building cars and Lego and stuff like that, you sort of everything else blurs out, and it's just really focused on the one thing you're doing. And
It's nothing
therapeutic.
better.
Yeah, I love
absolutely.
It. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Lego. All right, it's not because I'm a child. I know where you're going with this.
No,
all right, John?
more importantly, I've never heard the term space goat before.
I'll show you a picture later.
Nice. So you get a different sensation, let's call it, from doing your Lego as to producing the tune, your music.
Oh yeah, totally.
What's the difference? What have
One's
you
euphoric,
identified?
one's relaxing.
So Lego's relaxing, producing your music is
euphoric.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Very cool. All right, I'll give it a go. You heard it here. I'm going to commit to all our listeners. I'm going to give meditation a go, and we'll come back and let you know how I go. You mentioned earlier on that mindset coach has really come to the forefront over the last 12, 24 months. Has there always been skepticism around coaching and mindset and neuroscience? Why now has it kind of come into the fray and are people now really adopting? Because you and I connected through a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Why now is it, you know, why now are you important, if I can put it that way?
Yeah, like I said, I think people are becoming aware of how impactful it is, how it does create your reality and your results.
Yep.
If you're not happy with it, you need to change it, and
Yep.
it all starts with the mindset.
Yep.
And so I think it's just that awareness, like anything, and that's why the industry is exploding. And also there's a lot of books now on it, so people have access to more information around mindset.
Yep.
So Dr. Joe Dispenza is another one that I really love. His books are just absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So John mentioned the last 12 to 24, COVID, elephant in the room. Has there been a massive sort of increase in the need for a coach, a mindset coach, over this horrible period that everyone's going through?
Oh, look, I think there's always a need. It's not so much just COVID, but I think you're right in the fact that as a result of COVID, it was a wake-up call for a lot of people to change their life accordingly. And so as a result, they need to do different things in different ways. So mindset coaching is definitely top of mind. And back to your point, John, about the skepticism, I haven't come across a lot of it, but I know that there are people out there that go, oh, yeah, like what on earth does that mean? Like, yeah, you'll always get that. And I think that's in any industry. You're not going to get everyone agreeing with it. I think why it works, though, and why the clients that I've had it's worked for, it's because they're open to it.
Yeah.
And you've got to be open to anything like that. And, I mean, I myself have just started again coaching with a coach for myself, and you just it's amazing how much further and how much quicker you go, how much you accelerate your results than working on your own all the time, and particularly when you're helping others. So you've always got to do that check-in. Back to your point, John, about working on the mindset. It is a continual journey. There's no end game.
Yeah, okay.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you face with your clients in regards to mindset?
Yeah. Look, I think looking at their beliefs is always probably the most challenging, and that, funnily enough, that's one of the ones that we do start with. So I usually will do a live review with them. We'll have a look at their values through Dr. John D. Martini's Values Systems questionnaire, and then we'll also go through those biggest beliefs that are blocking them right now and look at that. Again, I teach them, though, like I give them the tools to be able to do it anytime by themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a really simple, easy process. They can go through at any time. But the beauty of it, it works.
Yeah.
And then we actually embed that new belief, not just with a feeling, but then on top of that, they do a lot of affirmations.
Okay.
So they'll usually write those down, and then I ask them to put them somewhere. So some clients might create a vision board, for example, or they might just have a board at work with all their things that they need to do, or inspirational, postcards from where they travelled, or whatever the situation might be, and they'll actually put them up there as a constant reminder for them on their phone, or various, depends on the client, what works for them, obviously. But the affirmations are a huge part because, again, I cannot say it enough. Thoughts, beliefs, stories you tell people all come back to creating your results in life. And the stories are interesting. So next time you're talking to someone, have a real listen as to what stories they keep replaying. So, say, family is a classic one. So when you listen to what your family might say and, oh, yeah, I remember when we did that as children and this was, my side of it. And then you might be at the same event and they'll have a completely different version of events as to what happened at that time. But also pay attention to, is it a negative, like poor me sort of story? Or are they saying, oh, that trip was amazing, I loved it and I loved it for this reason, and remember when we did this? Like, people will often tell other people the same stories time and time again. Again, that's embedding their belief and their thoughts around that experience, whether it's true or not.
Yeah, I get that. I'm the baby of 4.
Yeah.
And when we talk about family holidays with my brothers and sisters, one of us will talk about having an amazing time, and then the other 3 will be like, yeah, well, you're a bit of a pain in the ass back then, or do you remember when we did this and you did that? And it's like, oh, yeah, didn't really think of it that way. I was just too busy having a blast.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
That's fair.
It's so funny.
That's fair.
So it's really interesting.
So going back to the term affirmation, so not everyone that is watching or listening would know what an affirmation is. Do you want to break that down?
Yeah. Oh, all it is a positive statement.
I am awesome.
Correct. Exactly.
Thank
and you
you.
say that
Thank
every
you.
day. You
There's-
probably already do, John.
There's a lot of mirrors in this apartment.
Exactly.
Right.
I am awesome. I am successful. I am an awesome networker. My network is always expanding, whatever the case might be. The catch is you got to believe it. It's one thing to say it. So I can say, oh, yeah, my network's constantly expanding. I have a global network. And I could say that to myself day in, day out. If I don't believe it,
Doesn't work.
no, it doesn't work at all. So you've got to believe it. So what it is, it's just basically a series of statements. And they're 10 times more powerful when you write them down, and they're really helping you embed them. That's why we do say to write them down rather than just have it in your head like everything else. It's not quite the same. And then by constantly reaffirming that, you're just creating it time and time again, because that's what you believe. You believe that to be true. So all we're doing is just embedding a belief that you already believe to be true, but making sure that is creating your reality as a result
Love
of
that.
the repetition.
You got an affirmation?
Yeah, what's yours?
No.
I love fast cars.
No, I don't think I've got one.
Write it down.
Should I have one?
Absolutely.
So what's your affirmation?
I like the networking piece. So as you know, I love networking and doing what I do. So I'm very thankful for my network, my clients, my friends, and the kind of community that I've created. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for the life I have here. You know, moving over here 10 years ago, being able to walk to work. My wife, I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, we do our daily gratitude, which we've slipped on the last few weeks, but that's okay. You be aware of it. But so I don't stand in the mirror and say I'm awesome, just to be confirming. But I am very thankful for a lot of things. You know, even boxing in the morning, I'm thankful for being able to do that because it just changes my mindset for the day.
I'm thankful for a hell of a lot of things, but I don't think I have just an affirmation that I have a look, like I look in the mirror every day and say, you know, you're the best. No, I don't do that at all. If anything, I say the opposite. Just so I can be
Back
the best.
to our point with the affirmations and why they're so important. So what, you know, like have a think about what are you telling yourself in the morning?
Get good. It works for
And
me.
what does that do?
It works for me.
But what does it do?
Makes me go to work.
Okay then.
No, what do you mean? It makes me want to be the best that I can be.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to get good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but this is the thing. Everyone's got their own individual way of doing it. As long as it works for you, and like I said, you believe it to be true.
So I've
all that
noticed
matters.
with John and I, we're very different people in regards to he's a very positive sort of person and everything is awesome and everything and sunshine, lollipops and rainbows flying out
Everything is
everywhere.
Twilight John.
Yeah, whereas me, I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing good enough. I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do that. And I'm always sort of negging myself to make sure that I'm better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a very different approach.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and sometimes he's like, yeah, man, you know, everything is awesome. And I'm like, no, fuck that. It's not everything is awesome. It's shit and I'm going to make it better. All right? So I kinda
But see, no, but you're turning the negative into the positive by saying I'm actually going to do something about it, you know?
It's very different. Very different. But it works for me. I do enjoy that. And it's just like, oh, you know, like you always, I can kind of feel that you're upset with the way I'm feeling. And it's like, John, I'm fucking fine being miserable. All right? Just let me go. I'm not miserable, by the way. I'm extremely excited with my life and happy and everything. But like, yeah, I sort of don't act with bubbles and
no,
rainbows.
but that's the thing, and not everyone does, and that's completely fine. And there's nothing right or wrong about that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
It's just
John.
who we are.
Well, I think Angie's hit the nail on the head. Is what works for you. And,
Does work for me.
so meditation might not work for some people. Affirmations might not work. But it's getting into that rhythm and routine. Whatever works for you, and that's cool. Yeah. So going back to that before we go into a therapy session with lifestyle pirates.
I know, right? I was heading down there.
Have you kind of noticed a trend with your clients that, you know, some are more male than female? I mean, you obviously, from what I can tell, you're dealing with a lot of senior leaders, like C-suites and things. Is there a blend across?
Yeah.
And the reason I ask that is because we've got International Women's Day coming up, and there's a lot of stats around when people apply for jobs. You know, men will just give it a punt. Basically, if they can do two out of 10 of the skills or the attributes needed, they'll just go, yeah, I'll be good.
Yeah.
That's a big turn off for women, and they won't apply for that role or that job. So are you seeing any trends around that with your clients?
No, but I will say this is that, yes, quite often the females that I do work with, they often do have lower levels of confidence before we start the coaching. It does the coaching sessions without a doubt. It's the number one thing they always mention is that their confidence levels increase massively.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as a result of going through the coaching sessions. Yeah. So it's having that sounding board and someone there. And sometimes if you don't have that self-belief, having a coach alongside you to support you just makes the world of difference, because not everyone has, you know, a really supportive person in their life, or they're not necessarily living near their family or seeing them all the time or have close friends, you know, so everyone's got a different situation in that sense. And so if you're doing things on your own all the time, that can be a bit tough. And and I don't know why, though, overall that women have that negative belief or, have lower levels of confidence. I mean, there's heaps of women that have the opposite.
Yeah.
But, it does seem to, I find more with women. I think too, men are better in my experience at hiding it.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
They don't show it quite as much. You'll always pick it up in the woman far quicker than a male. And like you said, John, they'll just go, yep, no, I can do that, no problem, where the woman will hesitate and go, I don't have everything, I may not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, take the job first, then learn it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Go
it's my
all
whole
out.
MO.
Yeah. If you like the sound of it, just go for it.
100%. Yeah, you mentioned on your website, confidence is king.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, 1,000%. Well, it comes back to my story with, I was telling you about my writing with Ink.com in New York, right? Didn't even know I was a writer. Started this ridiculous, I don't even know how I created it, some dodgy blog that I thought no one would ever find on the internet. Anyway, writing all this stuff because I just came out of a heartbreak. And so, I had so much emotion and, things inside me to share with the world. And I was like, people start reading it and commenting. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, this is interesting. I had no idea they could even write or people were going to read it. And then the next minute, I'm doing this course with a whole business community, and one of the mentors there actually wrote for Ink.com in New York, but he was the only one in Australia. Anyway, so my attitude was, if he can do it, I can do it. No worries. This girl who didn't even know she could write 1 minute, and then the next minute I'm going, yeah, I can write for Ink.com in New York, no problem.
100%.
So I did. I put my hand up, put my pitch in, and they accepted it, and there we go.
That's mindset, 100%.
1,000%.
If you can do it,
Yeah.
100% you can do it. If
See,
you
I
think you
believed
can-
it.
Yeah.
I believed it wholeheartedly. I just said, well, what's the difference? If he's been doing it for years, doesn't matter. I can do it. I just know I can.
Sounds very Sex in the City.
Totally. My favourite. Where's the Cosmo, John?
Oh,
Cosmopolitan.
when we break past midday, we'll crack them out.
So you mentioned that you went through a bit of heartbreak. What's the biggest obstacle that you sort of went through, and how do you use mindset to get out of it?
Wow, this is a really cool question. I've never been asked this. Well, funnily enough, the writing was really cathartic, really helped immensely. I was on fire. Oh, my God. I'd wake up early every morning and punch out an article because I just had so much to share with everyone on my experience. I think, though, it's more like that really helped me process it, because sometimes when I'm going through things like that, I kind of do want to deal with it on my own. It's not the case I want to talk to the whole world, not talk to the whole world, but talk to friends and family about it per se. So I'm a big believer in also looking at alternate therapies like body work or like they call it shamanic healing. I'm really into all of that.
Like how to vent something?
No. So what it is you basically lie in a massage bed as though you're going to get a massage, but you don't. And she assesses your body with her hands. Yeah. It's quite powerful. It's really amazing. So I highly recommend even just to try it.
Yeah.
And then she can pick up in the body where the blocks are. And then she'll ask you questions about that. Yeah. So that's just another form of processing without having to go to therapy or go speak to a friend or family member when you don't want to.
Yeah.
And then the other alternative method that I used was pretty off the charts. It was insane, and I'm a very good screamer, so it worked for me.
Where are we going with this?
I'm very loud. I'm very loud. Yeah. So when I scream, I really scream. And so, so I did some breath work with a guy in Byron Bay. And so what he got me to do is, because I couldn't talk it out, he said I've got to yell. And so I had to scream into it like a pillow or a towel. Yeah. And apparently that's another way for your body just to get rid of all the energy. Oh, my God, I felt so different, so much better. And I slept like a log, like nothing could move me that night.
Just after screaming?
So tired.
Wow.
I was exhausted. My face was bright red for hours.
How long were you screaming for?
I don't know, 5-10 minutes straight.
Oh, wow.
It was a long weekend at Byron.
Yeah. No, this was all done virtual.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very powerful.
What did your neighbours think?
I know,
Well,
right?
it was a towel, so it was okay. But yeah, God help them if they'd heard me scream.
They would have been petrified, knocking on the door. Angie, you okay? You okay?
What the hell is going on next door?
Totally.
Brilliant. But hey, as you keep saying, whatever works for you, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
That's the best.
Well, I found bodywork many, many years ago, and I've been a big advocate for it ever since because, like I said, not everyone wants to talk things out, especially guys.
Yeah.
The guys don't want to talk about stuff. They just want to go down the pub and, have a beer, not worry about it. But, just do what suits you and try different methods, and I love that. Yeah, it's fun.
I think we're shifting in the guy thing, though. I think there's a so going back in the same way that I think women now have access to these amazing networks like Business Chicks. I think there's one like like-minded bitches that drink wine.
Yes.
So women who I get the sense that traditionally have not had access to networks and peer groups. There's now lots and lots of them out there, which is amazing. So I think that helps with the confidence side of things because I think men have had that for a long time.
Yeah.
But I am seeing a bit of a shift where men now are becoming more open with feelings. There's now men's groups where they can, maybe shout at a towel or they can share openly and there's no judgment at the door.
Like blokes advice.
With the kind of campfire project, Alan Stevens that came on, and another friend of mine, Ben Hughes, does one as well. So a lot of that stuff is now coming to the forefront. So hopefully we do see this, shift in where you're not just that guy that has to be tough and DIY and
Definitely.
play rugby and all that kind of stuff.
Lucky for you, mate?
Just for the record, I can't even hang a picture.
All right. I'm going to put up a picture of your toolbox.
We have candles in the studio that I lit myself.
Joss sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's okay. I do me. It works for me, man.
Sunshine, lollipops, rainbows.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all good.
So
I think that's great though. And I think, as a result of COVID, that did throw a lot of people into a spin, right, in terms of their mental wellness and looking after yourself and understanding what to do, throughout that situation. And also I think people are becoming more aware of how certain events in people's lives for men, how it's impacting them directly. So because they're not verbalising it though before, now they've got these forums to do so, and I think that's helping generally. And the population, I think you'll see a shift as well in the culture. Yeah.
Have you ever had someone that you couldn't help, that had just there perhaps wasn't a connection or they weren't open?
No.
Awesome.
Because I attract clients that are open to it first and foremost.
Perfect.
And yeah, I'm not the type to go, no, I definitely can't help you, because the only thing that would stop me not being able to help someone is them being closed to it.
Yeah.
Like close to everything that I say. Obviously that's not going to work because we're not going to get anywhere if that's the case. But no, otherwise that just doesn't happen, John.
I was going to rephrase John's question. What's the one thing that frustrates you sometimes about your clients then?
Do you know, I've been pretty blessed. This is going to sound really weird, I know.
Come on, there's got to be something.
Oh, no, I think you get it more in a training room versus coaching, because when they're making an investment, a self-investment in themselves and their time and their money, they're pretty motivated to do something with it.
And they open up.
And yes, they will, absolutely. And also I give them tasks in between so they don't get off lightly. Like it's constant, constant cycle. So it's good. So we do, that leads to the results as well. Yeah.
But in like a group sort of thing,
in a group
find
setting,
people are very closed or
absolutely
not engaging
it's
as much as you
always
want.
different and harder in a group, and that's why you've got to really manage it and make them feel safe. But I often throw them for a spin because of the way I describe certain things with mindset, and they're like, oh God, I never thought of that. Or oh, that is my mindset, because I'm a huge fan of Grant Cardone. I don't know if you guys know him. No. And he wrote this article called 3 Vehicles. Okay. And anyway, he goes, which vehicle are you sitting in? So at the top, we've got the Bentley. So that's all about the commitment. The next stage, you've got, say, your Toyota 4-wheel drive, everyone drives, so you're in that satisfaction stage. And then the bottom is the beat-up car that, is going to run out of petrol and die any day now.
I like
that's
that one.
the fear stage. No, but that's where a lot of people lie, unfortunately. They lie in between Toyota and the beat-up car. So what that is that's contracting. You can only contract so much in terms of your life, right? So it's going to have to be an end point where you can't contract anymore. Guess what? the ones that are with the Bentley, they're the committed ones. They're expanding. So it's all about expansion. He talks about that in his book and everything else. He's a dynamite. He's even got his kids involved, and I think they're only babies. But, so back to the point, like expansion. A bit like Ryan Serhant. I'm reading his new book, Big Money Energy. It's gold. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And he's the same thing, expansion, everything's expansion. Why would you contract and get rid of everything in your life and make it harder on yourself when you've got so many more opportunities to actually expand and do something amazing?
I listened to a great podcast. I think it was Masters of Scale, and the chap was doing Richard Branson.
Oh, yes.
And he kept saying, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it was about, the record store, the planes, the Coca-Cola, everything. And that was just his saying. He was like, screw it, let's do it. And again, that expansion mindset of where he wanted to take the brand. And it was quite impressive, and some of them failed, as we know, like Virgin Coca-Cola. I don't think you guys did you have it over here? Did it make it to Australia?
Virgin what?
Virgin Cola?
No,
okay.
no, not that I recall.
Yeah, so I didn't make it here, but it was just that expansive mindset and just, let's give it a go.
Oh, he is
very
the
impressive.
king.
Yeah.
Hello, if anyone's got a growth mindset, abundance mindset, limitless mindset, it's him over and over. And I mean, he's a great example. Just because you failed doesn't mean you failed, right?
Yeah.
What did you learn from it? What can you do differently next time?
Yeah.
Pivot, spin, change, like just constant. He's just always taking action and thinking positively. And I mean, he surrounds himself with awesome people as well, and that's part of it.
Absolutely.
That's a huge part, which we haven't spoken about at all.
Well, that's what I generally try and do is just, I had a few friends that say, you need a mentor. And I was like, well, I've actually got a really cool network of people that I speak to very, on a daily basis, and that's my mentor or that's my program is,
exactly.
Adriana, how did you overcome this?
Yep.
And what do you think about this? Like, that's the way I do things. I don't need to sit with someone at the moment anyway and just pour things out. I can just talk to them. I'm very lucky, and that comes to that network side of things to lean on people and get advice from that side.
Exactly. And particularly if you're with people that are doing bigger and better things or doing things that you potentially want to do, like where you want to go in the future. So, you don't want to be hanging around with people that are very similar because you're not going to grow as quick.
Yeah. You want people in the Bentleys.
Yeah, correct.
As you
that
just
are
said,
doing
the car. Rather
the
than the
empires.
Toyota and the...
Yeah, that's right.
And the no petrol. I like that. I'm
definitely.
taking that, Ange. I'm taking that.
I know, it's a cool one. Oh, just Google it too. You can find the article. It's pretty cool.
That was Grant
Short
Cardone,
and sweet. Grant Cardone. Which vehicle are you sitting in?
Thank you. So flipping the question, what's been the biggest change that you've seen from one of the clients?
Oh, wow. Oh, where do I start? There was actually a gentleman I work with in the real estate industry, absolutely phenomenal guy. He actually mentioned me in another podcast show he did. Absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, he didn't have as much confidence, obviously, when he started with me and going through quite a bit. Obviously, I can't say too much, given he's a client, but he just leaps and bounds, seriously, ever since we've worked together. Leaps and bounds, confidence, changed his daily habits, using affirmations, and more around building his business. That was the biggest game changer for him. And I tell you, he's just gone from, to dizzying heights now, seriously, to where he was, where he started. And that for me is probably, there's no better satisfaction. No better satisfaction than to see someone go from, I'm okay, I'm doing okay, and then, going to the Bentley, so to speak.
Taking over the world.
Totally, he is, and he will. He'll continue to do so.
So how would you define your approach to coaching?
Oh, I like that. Look, I think what I do compared to probably other people is it's structured, but it's also tailored to the individual and the individual needs. It's also very holistic and it's practical.
Yeah.
So I don't give them all this, esoteric stuff or workbooks or lots of theory that they'll just go, put it in a cupboard and never look at it again. I don't do that. Okay. It's very
salt to taste.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what are we doing now? What can we do? How can we change it? What works for you? Okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. It's very much like that. So it's a lot of implementation. And I think that's why they get the results so quickly as well, because we're just working together to see what best suits them. But like I said, that holistic approach, so I'll always do the values, the beliefs without failure. The life overview, all of that is set, and then we work on the mindset from there on in. Yeah, awesome. And the goals that they want to achieve.
So speaking about your abundance mindset,
yes,
you also do a TV show, you do a podcast, you've been a movie extra, and you got a lifestyle brand called Zillionaire, which I love. I've listened to some of your podcasts, but I mean, talk to me about how all this fits and what it enables you to do.
Absolutely. So the podcast was born really as a result of sharing all the gold from my Inc.com writing days.
And what's the podcast called? Give it a plug.
Zillionaire Superstars, for which I just finished up last year.
Oh, so really? You're not doing it anymore?
I'm focusing on the TV show. So that's how that comes together.
I've got a face for radio rather than TV, I'm afraid. But
We'll blur him out.
Yeah, but if I can help you in any way.
Thank you. So I'm shifting gears because what I found is that as a result of actually COVID and going through last year, I needed to make space for something new. And so that's exactly what I did. And new it is, I tell you, it's coming through thick and fast, so it's awesome. So that's how that came about, those two. And then the Zillionaire Creations, which is my baby, my passion project, which I'm just so in love with. It was as a result of a relationship breakup. And I just threw all my energy into this passion project for weeks solid. I was just working on it. So what I did is I had all these visions in my mind of what I wanted to create, because it's, if you've seen it, it's like, you know, lions and cheetahs, and it's very rah in your face. I think it definitely appeals more to men than women. So it's like hoodies and caps and T-shirts. So it's pretty simple line. And I had all these visions about what I wanted to create and the tagline to go with it. And then I actually worked with a contractor to actually design it for me and bring it to life, and then found a manufacturer that would put it all together for me and send it out to the client, which was absolutely amazing experience, one of the best things I've done. And I think too, just taps so heavily into my creative side, a bit like you with your Lego and all that sort of thing, your music. No, but you know what I mean, like anything that you love, or, you know, the cars or whatever.
Lego.
So
It's not my real job.
but, you know, anything you're passionate about or have fun with. So yeah, that was amazing. Absolutely.
Brilliant. And I've noticed on your website you have these raw principles. So does that fall into the lifestyle brand, or is that part of your principles when you coach? And what do they all stand for?
Yeah, so it's more the principles of what I coach. And really it's about, again, you know, looking at firstly your routine. So what's your daily routine? Does it set you up for success? You've probably heard people have daily success rituals. Of course. So for me, it's the gym, it's the meditation, all that sort of thing. So have a look at your routine, because that really does set you up for the day. You know, a bit like what we're talking about. Do you watch the news every night and, you know, like get all fearful and anxious about it, things like that. Yep. So it's looking at that. And then your attitude. So what do you bring to the table? How are you showing up every day in, day out? You know, are you lethargic, walking around, no energy, sleep deprived, like something's got to give? You know, you need to take a good hard look at what's going on there. How can you be more positive, accelerate your performance at work, do things in a different way, be more productive, be a better friend, whatever it is that your goal is. You know, think about your attitude and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, because you always attract, you know, exactly how you are. So I always notice that too. When I'm in a sparkly, positive and, you know, very happy mood, everyone's so nice to me, like so much nicer. And then if you get in a negative mood, you notice a difference straight away. Someone might yell at you on the street because they can feel how angry you are, or your energy of how negative you are, or just say something mean to you, you know. And it's all about your energy and your attitude and how you show up every day. So that's really, really important, definitely. And then you've got the reflection stage. So looking at, you know, what you can do better, what you can do differently, what's not working for me right now. So if you're not seeing the results that you want, what is it? And just that free flow writing in the morning, in the evening, journaling, which not everyone, again, is not into, but all of these things will help you to reflect on what's going on for you. But, you know, for you guys, it might be something as simple as just writing down a pros and cons list, or, you know, writing down, oh, this part of my life's working, this isn't, what can I do about it? Write down some solutions. So I encourage you to do what works for you. But that reflection is so important, just to really take a look. Because I think too, I don't know about for you guys, but like, you know, when you're just on a roll and you're next, like it's a constant to-do list.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't stop. And it's like, when are you stopping to celebrate what you did or to have fun with it or have more fun with it than what you're already doing, you know? It's things like that. Yeah.
I'm such a massive fan of that. But go back to the S, go on.
Yeah, so strength, all about, again, your mindset and your body. Like for me, weights is a no-brainer. Like if I don't do my weights, like there's something seriously wrong in the world. It's like I love having that mental and the physical strength to just be bigger and better than I was yesterday.
So routine, action, reflection, strength.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lion, stop it. No, I'm such a massive fan of celebrating the wins.
Yes.
And so when you set yourself a goal and you achieve it, you've got to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge that. Otherwise, why are you setting yourself a goal? Because for me, that feeling you get from achieving your goal, that implants forever. You know, you want that feeling again. You know, that dopamine hit or whatever it is. You want that feeling again to then hit your next goal. So I'm massive on that. And that could have been me getting a tax return. Sometimes I celebrate that.
Yeah. Rainbows. There's always rainbows to be made. See, that for me, that's too
buy me a rainbow T-shirt,
That's
man.
too finite for me.
What do you mean?
Well, like you're sort of giving it like an ending. For me, I'm always going. I just can't. If I celebrate something, for me, I'm just like, well, fuck, that's the end of that. Nah, I've got to keep going.
But then how do you know when you've achieved something? So you played in Thailand last year. Surely that would have been a massive moment for you finishing off a festival in Thailand.
It was, and I enjoyed it, and I moved on.
Right. So you didn't kind of sit quietly, pop a cork and glass of fizz and...
No one offered.
Can we get some champagne for this man, please? So yeah, but you take a moment to acknowledge, but you just carry on because you want more.
Yeah, 100%.
So you've got the abundance mindset. You don't kind of physically acknowledge it.
No, I just want to keep going.
Fair play.
And I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I don't like to sit and smell the roses.
Wow.
And you don't have to necessarily, you know, pop a glass of champagne or, you know, whatever, but
Or a Cosmo.
Or a Cosmo, yes, definitely a good Cosmo. It's more about actually enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're so goal-orientated, we don't, because we're just like next. So we're constantly doing and achieving. We're not actually enjoying it. Like we could have more fun with it and just be a bit lighthearted or take our foot off the brake for a minute. And that in itself changes everything as well. Yeah, sometimes we need to do that.
I love the journey.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the main thing. That's all you got to worry about.
You have a quote, which is basically you have unstoppable enthusiasm, and I can see exactly where that comes from.
Definitely.
I can see exactly where that's come from. So we're going to wrap things up fairly soon. I'm going to ask you my question. You've got a table booked for 4 people. You're one of them. Who would you go for dinner with? Who's at the table?
Oh, I love this question. This is super cool. Oh, I have so many people in the world I want to have dinner with. So it can be anyone?
Could be anyone. They could be dead or
Dead
alive.
or alive.
Oh, wow. Okay. Warren Buffett,
Good choice.
definitely. It's probably going to be, everyone says that moment, but Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind meeting Ryan Serhan.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I'm a bit addicted to the real estate. I love the real estate industry.
That's it. There's your 3.
Yeah, that's it.
Unless you didn't want to go to dinner. You just invited 4 people then. You can invite a 4 person.
You know what I was doing? I was thinking, what topics do I love and what do I want to know more about and pick their brain about? And so Warren was first off because it's all about investments and finance. And then, Ryan because I love the real estate. And then Oprah just because she's so, oh, my God, like her career just spans,
crazy.
so many decades and she's helped so many people. And I just would love to see what the quality is of meeting her, like how her vibe is and like what she says to you, and like that would just, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, yeah, that's freaky.
I reckon
that's really cool.
I think that's that full circle vibe though, when you give a lot out, and to your point, the positivity, when you give a lot out and you're helpful and kind, and that does come back. That's the kind of karma circle that you've been speaking about as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, agree.
I love it. And you can speak to Ryan about your acting career as well by being an extra.
It definitely didn't go anywhere. I just did that more for fun.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So go back to your TV piece. So what's that going to be about?
Yeah, so that's I'll be I've already done one of the interviews already. So it's interviewing experts more around like neuroscience and psychology, and just really getting more deeper with all the information that I'm sharing with my audience. So to really help them understand why and how they're doing the things that they're doing, and, you know, how the mindset's related and what they can do differently. Again, I really want that practical element to come through. And, you know, because speaking to experts, sometimes you're a bit bamboozled and you're like,
totally.
But one guy I'm speaking to at the moment, Stanford University, Dr. Andrew Huberman, seriously, he is great. I'll tell you why. Because he's an expert in his field, but he doesn't complicate or bamboozle you. So he just gives it straight. This is what you can do, like talking about sunlight every day, or, you know, whatever it is that he might be talking about. It's practical, useful, and you can take it away. And that's what I think people need and what they want. Get to the point. Don't waffle and
just get to the point. Come on.
Don't waffle and carry on.
So how do we find out more about that? When's it out?
Oh, yes. No, I haven't got a release date yet.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a soft launch.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it now in the background. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's coming.
So,
coming to a cinema near you.
Excellent.
Hopefully.
So on that topic, how do people get a hold of you if they want to? Yeah. If they want to talk to you,
if they want to get to the point with Ange.
That's it.
Get to the point.
LinkedIn is probably my favourite platform, or just go to my website, angelinazimmerman.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you can check out the lifestyle range there as well.
Awesome.
Billionaire Creations.
Excellent. And you have got some amazing content on there, which I've checked out. Angie, thank you very much for becoming a Lifestyle Pirates. Your abundance, your enthusiastic, your always learning mentality is very, very infectious, and I've taken a hell of a lot of notes. So thank you for sharing your story. Awesome. And if you want to get in touch with Ange, all the links will be in the bio for this note. But until then, thanks for joining Lifestyle Pirates with Big J and Adriano.
Thank you very much.